What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video at Shoulders of Giants YouTube channel. If you're here, please go down below, like and subscribe. Today's video, we're going to get into a land-based NFT plus another NFT that's what I believe is one of the first Web3 media companies in NFT space, natively in the NFT space. And I mentioned about it roughly last week as well. And number 3 is going to be an art project, which I normally don't mention much on the channel, but I think I like one that recently is coming and dropping this week and wanted to put you guys on the radar. Okay, so with that being said, let's get into it. The first here is Continuum World. Continuum World, okay. And it's one of the land-based NFT metaverse projects. As you have probably seen, if you're in the space, that there's been a lot of them popping up. So it's been harder and harder to sift through them and make sure that you're picking the ones that have the good founders, good team, good track record. And I believe this is one of them that falls in that criteria. So first of all, what is it? A little bit about the project. It's an idyllic world composed of sky islands, which natural futuristic environment where you can collect plenty of resources. So it's an mmorpg like RuneScape. So that's probably, like, personally, it's one of my favorite types of games ever. I was a big RuneScape nerd when I was like in middle school. It's probably the only game that I was like extremely addicted to, meaning like not eating, not sleeping properly, all that kind of stuff. So since then, mmorpg has been always just, something that I always gravitate to. I don't play anything right now because of, I probably wouldn't be able to have a life if I did, but this is that. So addiction wise, they're in the category that I understand pretty well. With that being said, this is what you're going to be doing in the game. Okay, you're going to have land NFTs, plantations, power generators, fish farms. So it's not just, like stake your land, you get a certain amount. There's going to be more game theory involved, which I like because if it's an MMORPG, you kind of want a lot of game theory. It's something that has to be enticing enough that people can basically be engulfed with and live within for days and days and days. So the team is these guys here: Enrique Dubois, Daniel Fernandez, I can't say his name, and I can't definitely say his, Antonio De La Torre. I think I got that one actually. But basically they have a CEO, COO, CTO, and an online programmer as the main team. Not sure if they have other people behind it, but if you look at one of these guys, the main CEO, and you can see in LinkedIn, he looks like a pretty, well, actually at first glance, I was like, is this guy trying to look fake? I mean, why does he have a cartoonish borderline that's cut his shoulder off in a professional LinkedIn picture? But when you look through his background, it looks pretty good, right? Like, it's Continuum World is part of it. They've been working on it throughout most of this year. And before this, he was in, Angel Club, Business Angel and Serial Entrepreneur, Real CEO Founder, and CEO and Chairman of PlaySpace. So he has pretty good amount of experience as a, overall in the business world in of itself. And he has founded a bunch of companies all together. Okay, guys, my mic broke for a second for some reason. How do you get this? How do you participate in this land NFT? You're going to need to be staking tokens. Is the token for the game of Continuum World. Okay. The way to do that is you're going to have to swap Matic for tokens. If you don't have Matic and you're going to buy it as an exchange, I wanted to mention to you guys that sometimes in your exchange, just look if you have the network available, what chain you're going to send the Matic through. I see some people, some videos, they tell you to buy the coin and then send it to your ETH, and then you pay extra gas fees to convert from ETH network to Polygon network, which is unnecessary because if your exchange has the chain here, you can just basically use that and send it through the Polygon chain. Hope that makes sense. So you're gonna buy some Matic and send it through the Polygon chain to your MetaMask, and then once you go into the MetaMask, you go to Quick Swap, and you can use the Matic to swap for tokens. Once that swap goes through, as in your MetaMask, you can go back to this page, which is in Continuum World. Let me just take this off because I'll have to switch to the Matic network. And you can see it gives you an option to stake. Now you see the staking options is breaks down like this. 500 is bronze, silver is 2500, gold is 5000, and the platinum is 10,000. All right, so I'm gonna stake enough for the top tier. This is 10,000 and I'm gonna actually do a little bit more than 10,000, like 100 or something. And if you see, I have like quite a bit I bought here, and it's because I'm gonna have different wallets where I can basically stake the top tier. I'm trying to go a little bit heavy on this, and I'm gonna go into why in a second. And I'm only doing this because all these factors meet, and it's not just about the project. While that's going through, let me go into that. Okay, just wanted to cut this while it's done being staked. Okay, now that it's staked, let's go into why I'm going a little bit heavy on this, just so you guys understand my reasoning. The token price has come down to pretty much where it's originally started, right? 0.06, and it originally started around 0.06, 0.05, roughly, give or take. Now, could it bleed more? Sure. But generally, there is a pretty good, bottom line for a lot of, most tokens. And if it comes back to the price where it started, you get kind of like a floor. So what I'm betting on is I have multiple hedges. Not only I see the potential this project could have on its land sale, but also the tokens can appreciate in value because one, more people, as the time comes to stake the tokens to get the next land round, more tokens are gonna be bought and staked, so the price can appreciate. And then on top of it, if it starts to really take off and become one of those things that they really execute over the next, let's say 90 days, especially, then this can really go very high, right? If you look at the market cap, it's only 3 million. I pulled up Treasure Marketplace, is one I mentioned last week, and this is a token that did like 100x. Now, I'm not saying this is the same thing gonna happen at any mean whatsoever. I'm just saying the chances of this appreciating is a little bit on my side, on somebody who's getting it at this prices because of the functions I just explained, which is why I'm going in it a little bit heavier than I normally do. For a project like this, with the amount of information they currently have, usually I would go in with like around 0.2 ETH in that range, but this I'm going on with more like a little bit over 1 ETH, almost like 1.5 ETH because of these mechanisms that I'm talking about. Personally, what I'm doing, not financial advice, DYOR. The next project I have for you guys today is Rug Radio. Again, the mint pass for this, in order for you to get and mint the Rug Radio Genesis NFT, was dropped last week, which I tweeted about. A bunch of you got it, and it was for free. All you have to do is pay for gas. And that one went up to 0.3 ETH at, I believe, the highest. I think a little bit higher even. So if you wanted, you could have sold it. But I did mention a few times in Twitter that if you don't need the liquidity, this might be one you might not want to paper hand. Why? Again, it's one of the first native NFT media companies completely born out of the NFT space. We don't have any other things like this, and it could be something potentially very big. I'm holding this for the long term. So I'm going to go over a couple of the points that he made in this thread. It's a very long thread. I don't want to read everything, but some of the ones are really good. First point, having spent most of my life building communities on social media starting at age 12, 15 on Tumblr, 18 on Instagram, then Clubhouse and Twitter in the last 13 months, I've invested a lot of my time and energy into platforms which I got nothing in exchange. So I felt this one coming from Farouk. I really felt that this comes from his heart, because although I don't know where he was, when he was 12, 15 or stuff like that, this guy has been really in all, so many live spaces every single day last year, through in 2021, June, July, August, September, those couple of months, he's been day in, day out. It felt like there's 2-3 Farouks. He would be everywhere, always speaking. You'd randomly sometimes go into some else's talk, and he's there also hosting and talking and collaborating, going super excited, all that kind of stuff. I know he is a big speaker. Okay. Second good point. So what exactly are we launching with Rug Radio? Our goal is to create a decentralized Web3 media platform, but it truly is much more than that. It is a launch pad, an incubator, a brand builder, an accelerator, a creator fund. Each of these you should understand if you're buying into this, at least relatively. What he's talking about here is, think of it like a backgrounds of certain news channels where people are just speaking. There's like a green screen behind them, right? Then different people come. What is that? It's a company, right, that owns that news channel, and these speakers are employees. Imagine now if the company is not owned by one entity. It's owned by everybody who holds the NFTs pass. Then it's like, okay, so we hold an NFTs pass that is a DAO, right? They're a DAO, and half of the profits of all the, even the primary sales, and more than 70% of the profits from the secondary sales goes into that DAO to contribute and build this platform. Okay, so that's already cool. Secondly, if you look at the incubator, brand builder, these kind of parts, what it means is that there's going to be different tiers of membership passes. Some of them could be a host, meaning, like right now we are a Genesis NFT, just an NFT pass holder. If you're a host, it means you're actually a speaker. Let's say I want to build my own voice. Instead of doing YouTube videos, I was like, I want to build my own voice in a decentralized way. I could go to Rug Radio, become a host, apply to the process, whatever that is, become a host, and then boom, I'll get that. Whatever people then listen to me, because Rug Radio is basically like then vouching for me because I'm in their platform, so I get some marketing benefit from them because the whole thing has more people checking out. What else is going in Rug Radio? There's gonna be a lot of people checking it out, and I could be one of them. So I'm getting more marketing. Just like if I do a YouTube video, YouTube promotes me to their other recommended videos around YouTube channel. This one is similar thing, but for within Rug Radios. With me so far? Then I would be able to have my own voice. It's decentralized, and I would own my own commercial rights. So all the things that are brought in, I don't know exactly how they're gonna do. I'm sure they're gonna explain it down, but the profits that are generated from my show, etc., like that, and the viewers that are watching, I would own those rights, etc., etc. So just wanted to explain that out because I think I really do think the idea is super cool and innovative. It's just going to be about, can Farouk deliver? And since it's the whole idea is about speaking and knowledge and expression and sharing about what's happening about the whole space and your own take on things, and something he's very good at. It seems like the vision he has aligns with what his strengths are as a person. Okay, that was a lot to explain. Moving on. Last one, guys, I didn't want to take too much of your time because I know this video is probably already getting way too long. It's Generoscope. Normally, I do not do art blocks type arty stuff, but this one is really different. If you look at this one, how it's made, the acrylic paint actually overlays the designs embedded in. I'm just kidding. I don't know what the hell this is. All I know is that art critics that I do follow love it. They have been talking about it. Not everybody, a lot of the people that I know in the space that have called art blocks properly are really bullish on this project. So I'm like, all right, okay, let's see what's going down. It's dropping this week. Check it out. You can see one of the super rare robots right here is mentioning about it, and this is some of his signals from previous work. Another thing that I like to look at, meaning the artist that we're talking about here, Jason Seife, already has work done in the past. If you go to his OpenSea, you can see there's a floor price of 4.9 ETH. I know it's a small amount of items, but you can see that oh my god, I just ruined it. Here we go. You can see the style of the work he does, and a lot of people love it. Point is, he has a track record from before, along with analysts that I follow are bullish on it. Hence, I'm bullish on it. Last thing I'll say about this is that art blocks has been in a for a long time. It's been in a super bear market, right? It used to be such a hot thing when I first got into the space. Now it's not even barely talked about. So out of the three mentions today, this one is actually one that I'm least bullish on. I just wanted to put it in your radar because it does qualify. If there's one project I'm bullish on in this month that's art related, this is pretty much it. Other than that, there's nothing much else to it. Like and subscribe.